What percentage of people do you think are suffering here in Cuba?
La mayoría.
Your thoughts on communism?
Lo más malo que ha existido en la vida ha sido el comunismo.
None of the gas stations are even in operation right now because there's quite literally no gas.
Cuba right now is facing one of the largest humanitarian crises in the world. Cuba's government is a one-party communist-ruled country, and they are facing massive food shortages, daily blackouts, and a lack of medicine. With communism and socialism on the rise in the West, I wanted to see what life in communism is really like firsthand, as Cuba has been living underneath communism for over 60 years. Upon arrival, I completed all required documents and had received a visa for journalistic activity. However, once I landed, all my camera gear was seized, and within 24 hours, I was planning my escape out of Cuba after their intelligence followed me all day and a 2-star general came searching for me at the hotel. Now let's go see the reality of Cuba and eventually plan our escape out of Cuba.
Where are the people at? ¿Dónde está la gente? No hay nadie aquí en la calle.
The problem is that there's no gasoline. It's not.
None of the gas stations are even in operation right now because there's quite literally no gas. When the United States captured Maduro, their main supplier of gas and oil was shut off. So the country right now has hardly any gas, and if you do want to get gas, you have to wait in a line from the government. The guy that we're in our taxi with right now, he said his position to get gas is $1,200 in line, and gas from the government costs around $1, but gas, if you were to buy it on the black market, costs $10 per liter. Before they captured Maduro, was there gasoline in the gas stations?
Always.
¿Y cómo está sobreviviendo la gente aquí en Cuba?
Just imagine the reality of it, with 1,000 sacrifices and 1,000 daily struggles. The average Cuban citizen is the one really going through absolute hell here in this country.
It's so interesting being here in Cuba because everything is just like empty. It's almost very like North Korea like when you come into a massive plaza and there's not even cars. They're saying that this is even more quiet than during COVID, during the pandemic.
We headed to a nearby hospital, and from this moment on, we noticed we were being followed by Cuban police and their intelligence. After the word got out, I was asking people about communism. Inside of a communist country, there's no such thing as freedom of speech or freedom of the press. In fact, if you speak out against the current regime or against communism, your neighbor can then report you to an area inside of the neighborhood where the government or the police will then come after you, and you have the risk of being imprisoned for speaking out against the regime.
And what's the reality of living inside of communism?
Son presidentes todos.
Hay mucha gente que está muriendo
Que están muriendo
por el comunismo.
por eso mismo, porque no hay pastillas, no hay nada para darle a la gente.
And what would be your last message to the people about living life in communism?
Bueno, el último mensaje que daré es que lo más malo que hay aquí en Cuba es el comunismo, que viven todo en comunismo.